Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and Ascended Heroes is right around the corner in Japan, as in the 100, what is it called? The Starter Decks 100 Battle Collection, which is like such a weird translation of the name. But anyways, that's right around the corner in Japan, coming out December 19th. Today is what day is it? Is it the 17th? Yeah, 17th on the day of actually recording and releasing this video. And so, right around the corner there, we'll be going over the tournament results from that when it's out in Japan. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. But also, Mega Dream has been out for a little bit in Japan as well. And these are going to be making up Ascended Heroes internationally. It's not all the cards in both of these sets. I mean, I think pretty much all the new cards are going to be in our set, but there's a lot of reprints as well. You look at Meganium EX, you can see, a lot of reprints in this set here. And then same thing with the Starter Decks 100 Battle Collection. And yeah, we're not going to be getting all of these cards, which again, they are reprints, but we should be getting all the new cards, I think. But I'm pretty sure, getting all the new megas, of which there are 10. But again, correct me in the comment section down below if I am wrong on that. But these are the 10 out / about to be out in Japan, and these are pretty interesting cards to talk about here because they are megas. I have 6 tiers as well for this video. A simple S through F here, and quickly going through the tiers. S tier's like super good. It's not like, absurdly good, but it's very, very good, right? Can be changing the game, either a staple or a card that's like a focal point of a very good deck. Currently, I'd say there are not any megas in standard that would meet that criteria. But we'll see if these will make it. Spoilers, I'm pretty sure they won't. I haven't planned this out, but I don't think they will. Then A tier is quite good, like, either the focal point of a good deck or a very strong support piece. I would say in standard, Mega Kangaskhan goes here. Maybe Mega Absol as well. That's like the focal point of a good deck, but the deck's not like absurdly good, but it's good enough for this tier. Also, it's like technically the focal point, but it's not like by far the main piece, unlike how Charizard is the main piece in Charizard. But anyways, Mega Absol might go in B tier, might go in A tier. And then in B tier, this is like okay, like playable, like decent cards. You will see these cards some. C tier, you're falling a little bit out of that. These are like kind of meh. D tier is not good. It's not literally worthless. F tier is like pretty much unplayable on every metric. I don't expect to really see anything in F tier or S tier. We'll see though. Let's just hop right in there. We'll go card by card here, starting with Meganium or Mega Meganium EX. Kind of wacky name here. Yeah. Also, a lot of these are stage 2s. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not like that many, but it's still a good amount, right? And Mega Meganium EX is the first one. It is, of course, one of the starters, or like the final evolutions of the starters from ZA, I think. And then you have the one attack here, which is your only attack. Keep in mind, this is Meganium. That will matter. I'll talk about it in just a second. Or it's part of that like evolution line. And so for 3 colors here, you do 70, 50 more for each grass energy attached to this Pokemon. This card is pretty simple and straightforward. How you want to play it? You want to pair it with the Meganium from the expansion Mega Evolution, which allows you to double your grass energy, as well as with Force of Vitality there. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. Force of Vitality, I will say, like, I hear a lot of people say, like, oh, it gets you evolve faster, which is, like, kind of true, but it's actually going to be, like, you can get up as soon as turn 2, which is the same speed as, like, Rare Candy or TM Evolution. But in the mid-game, if you lose all your Pokemon, it allows you to bounce back. Not all of them. If you lose all of them, you lose. But if you lose all of, like, a full line, you can bounce back faster. But anyways, Mega Meganium EX here, it can do, like, decent damage with Meganium in play. The idea could be to pair this with Teal Pokemon EX and Mega Venusaur EX and Meganium, and it slots like decently into that deck. It will be pretty powerful, but one, Teal Pokemon EX is decently powerful. This is certainly much stronger than that in terms of damage, but it isn't like terrible if you're looking for a one-shotting option. It can definitely get the job done sometimes, and obviously it's a very important card for the deck. And on top of that, you need Meganium, right? You need Meganium, you need Mega Meganium EX, you need Mega Venusaur EX. That's 3 different stage 2 lines. You need the stadium, really. You need a basic, you need like all these energies. It's really clunky. So I don't love it there. I think it'll be, I don't know. I mean, exactly how do you play this? I'm not sure. I think that's the way that kind of makes sense, but that's so many pieces. Mega Venusaur is already kind of sketchy as it is. Not that you can't get set up, but it's kind of awkward. Yes, doing extra damage in that deck would be nice, but it's like, you need to set up. Right? If you set up, it's a good deck, theoretically. You have like the highest HP ever, but yeah, Mega Meganium EX is okay, I think. I'll put it in it's between B and C tier. I think it is like kind of playable, but I don't expect it. I mean, I think it's worse than Mega Venusaur by a little bit. I think it's kind of close. Mega Venusaur is probably on the fringe, so this ends up in C tier here. Then you have Mega Feraligatr. Mega Feraligatr EX here is a card that's pretty interesting, I guess. You have Killer Crunch for 3, again, on a Stage 2 Mega here, and this says it does 200, but if your opponent's active already has damage counters on it, it does 200 more. I'm not gonna lie, this card is pretty bad. Keep in mind it is a stage 2, and remember these are stage 2 3 prizes. Sometimes I have people, especially I was like, there's like a custom card community I have in my Discord server, which check that out. Also in my Discord server, I'm doing signups for my potential live GLC tournament. I want to see how much interest there is. Over 100 people said they wanted to. There were over 100 people said they would play on my YouTube channel, but on my Discord server, no one signed up at the point of recording. So, anyways, make sure you do that. And if we have a similar number to the people that said interest on YouTube, I'll do that. But anyways, Mega Feraligatr EX here. Oh yeah, so I was gonna say with the with people judging cards, they say like cards are super broken because they have these attacks that do big damage, but they just like ignore prizes, stage, and attack costs. This is kind of expensive, right? It's 3 energy, and it like can't be discounted like Meganium discounts Meganium EX, or not discount, but essentially discounts. And then it's 2 water and a colorless, so it's not just colorless there. And then also it is a stage 2, which is clunky. Of Force of Vitality, how much does that matter? Matter some. And then you have 3 prices, right? These are all bad things. So and then how much do you do? You do 200, which is like not very good, right? We see basics that do that. Basic 2 prizes pretty commonly. Then you can do 400 if they have damage counters on them already. How do you do this? I don't really know. Like there's some ways to do it. They're kind of bad. The I guess quote logical way to do it is pair it with the Feraligatr we have in standard. Really cool card. It's like kind of mad, but it's really fun. Which damages itself. Then you pair it with Monkey Dory to move the damage back over to your opponent. But that's another stage 2 and another energy on that Monkey Dory. That's like pretty much impossible. Like, how are you powering this up? Excalibur. Also, this will account a little bit pre-rotation. I don't know how much it's going to matter for most of these cards, if really any of them, to be honest. But I will mention that here, that this is mostly like it'll account for pre-rotation, but a lot of it's post-rotation as well. This is like sketchy. You could use Froslass, but that's not immediate. You could use Hawlucha, but that's to the bench. Again, Monkey Dory does energy, and you like need damage on your own board as well. There's Team Rocket's Venture Bomb. That's like kind of bad. I mean, it's a coin flip. It might be your best option. And keep in mind, these are just to get the damage counters on. Getting the energy on, you have Excalibur, I guess. You have Neo Upper Energy, I guess, plus like Counter Gain or something. You have. I don't know. I mean, the options are not good, to be honest. This card's quite bad. This legitimately might be. Honestly, no, this card's F here. This card is so bad. The upside is just so underwhelming. Which is so disappointing. Like, I feel like this would be so cool if it worked with Feraligatr and Standard than we have, and it was like a cool addition, but it's expensive. It's not very good. I mean, yes, 400 is good. It's gonna be one-shotting everything. But it's like so much setup, right? It's like an absurd amount of setup, and it's quite underwhelming there. So unfortunately, it's really bad. I mean, this card is quite bad. Then we have Mega Froslass. This is a pretty interesting card. I guess I'll quickly mention. I've mentioned this a few times, but there is a Snorunt from the same set. Where is it? This one, which has 70 HP, so that's like good, but whatever. I don't really care about it that much, but it does change the metagame a little. But anyways, Mega Froslass here is a card that for 3 energy, it's stacks pretty bad. It is 150 in sleep. It sleeps like okay, but you know, it's 3 energy. Not very easy to pay. I guess easier than the Mega Feraligatr EX, but it's still not very easy. Then you have Resentful Song, though, for 1 water, which is 50 for each card in your opponent's hand. I'll say this card has seen play in Japan. Like half of these cards aren't out yet in Japan, as I said, but half of them are. It's been paired a little with Marnie's. I think pairing it with Marnie's is pretty bad, to be honest. It's not terrible, and honestly, actually, no, it is terrible in Marnie's because Naru's Grimstone EX, of course, accelerates Darkness Energy, basic Darkness Energy, so it doesn't work with Luminous. I mean, you can attack with Luminous, but yeah, and you can manually attach Luminous to Monkey Dory, and then also to Mega Froslass. It's not a huge cost to play the Luminous, but you can't search the Luminous, right? And you also can't search with the Mega Froslass, which is bad. I mean, you could search with TM Evolution, that's obviously also bad. Or no, you do have Ultra Ball. If you look at let's see, let me take a look at some the Marnie's list. They are running Ultra Ball pretty commonly, so you like can find it. I don't know, for some reason I thought they like weren't playing Ultra Ball. I mean, they don't all play Ultra Ball. You need to be playing more. And then you need to like draw into the energy naturally. Be able to find the Ultra Ball or whatever, which is like kind of clunky. It is doable, you know, if we look at the list again. You have 4 Arvins, of course. You have Secret Box, so like it is doable, but it's definitely not amazing. You can't find it off the stadium or either stadium. So it fits pretty terribly, or not terribly, but it fits badly in Modern Use Grimmsnarl EX. It doesn't really round it out that much either. It's like the same HP. It's a similar damage amount. It's a similar energy cost. It's like kind of redundant. It's not like super difficult to slot into your deck. It's not super easy either. You know, if we look again at the list here, you're running, you know, you're gonna have to add like probably an extra energy, which is just, you know, I mean, you can add Moltres, so there are like some cool things you can do with it, but ultimately I feel like it's gonna come up short, or not come up short, but it's just gonna be kind of useless most of the time. Not like it's terrible, but it's kind of whatever. So then you look at it more alongside the Froslass in Standard, which if you don't know, it puts a damage counter on each Pokemon with an ability in play between turns, or during Pokemon checkup, between turns both ways. Monkey Dory then can move the damage counters off your Pokemon to your opponents. You will need to get the energy on. There are decks like this, which like really rely on Monkey Dory, that don't have energy acceleration. There can be issues with that, but it can work as well. It kind of depends. You need to like buy time with Badoo or whatever. When I say or whatever, it's probably Badoo. Then Mega Froslass is a big damaging option. Luminous Energy not really going to be much of a cost here, because you're mostly going to be attached energies to Monkey Dory, and now you can attach them to Mega Froslass, and that's it, right? That's fine. You, I guess, can't like do some basic energy stuff with them, but that's more or less fine. So this is all right as an addition to the Froslass deck. It's like a legitimate attacking option. This is This is surviving rotation, right? I'm not imagining that. Yeah. Twilight Masquerade not rotating, obviously. So, which is where Froslass and Monkey Dory are from. But yeah, I mean, long story short, this card's like all right. It's not bad on its own. How much damage it's doing? It's doing 50 for each card in your opponent's hand, which is like you can Iono them to a bigger hand theoretically, but that seems kind of bad, right? But you can like, I don't know. I mean, let's be swinging between 150, 300 range maybe. You are adding this on to other things, and you like know how much damage you're doing before as well. If you're forcing your opponent into a small hand that's also hurting them, ultimately your opponent can mostly play around that, but it is still something that is worth noting. So ultimately, it's all right, you know. Long story short, it's all right. It's one of the better megas from the set, but it's by no means amazing. Then we have another mega here, which is also interesting. I guess they're all like kind of interesting, but some are less interesting than others. But Mega Charizard EX. This one's kind of interesting with Explosion Y. It's the attack translation, or the name attack name translation, which might be wrong. But what it does is you discard 3 energy from it, and then you do 1 to one of your opponent's Pokemon. This card is I don't know. I don't really love it. It can work with Oricorio EX and Mega Charizard EX and regular Charizard EX. This is where you're looking at it, right? Oh wait, it's not out yet, is it? But if you look at like Dex and Standard, right? Well, no, if you look at specifically Charizard in Standard, how many are playing Mega Charizard? Yeah, not many are playing Mega Charizard. And then obviously less would be playing Oricorio EX there, because you'd only play it if you're playing Mega Charizard. And yeah, I mean, the reason it's just not that good for both the Mega Charizards is they are Charizard, which is like good, right? It's good that they're Charizard because you don't need to add as many extra evolutions to your deck, or previous evolutions, because you're not adding a full new line, you're just adding a new line topper. That being said, you know, you are still adding another stage 2. You need to be able to probably, play more previous evolutions, be able to find these, and be able to rare candy and stuff. So it is more resources legitimately, either that you're playing or that you're like needing to use. So either it's more deck space or just like super risky or like sketchy. It's not going to happen that much. And then you also need, you lose the energy, right? So you can get 3 energies on, or you can get 3 energies on using Mega Charizard X, using regular Charizard EX from Obsidian Flames, which is like valid, right? But then you lose all the energy. There is like this weird play we can use Ignition Energy, which is like kind of funny, but I think it's kind of bad. But I'll mention it. But then where you just attach it, then you discard it. But assuming you're not doing that, which again, if you are, that's more pieces. Then you lose the energies, right? You've lost the energies from your Charizard EX. There are no energies on your board, presumably, or like very few. And then you're going to need another Charizard EX to power them up. So it's taking 2 Charizard lines It is powerful, right? 280 snipe is very, very good, but like, are you using this at the beginning of the game? You have the energy issues, right? And then you use it at the end of the game. I was talking about this on Uncommon Fossil, but then I feel like that's what he recommended. But like, you don't really need this at the end of the game. I feel like, it just like feels kind of lost. And then outside of Charizard, EX after the rotates, which again will be pretty soon. Because by the way, this is coming in January. Internationally, rotation is, I think it's in March. It might be in April. I'm not sure. It might depend based on how you're playing as well. But this is kind of cool. You can pair it with the Mega Charizard X EX and or Choreo EX, which is like kind of cool. I definitely think it's a lot better than Mega Feraligatr, where you're like doing one shots with both. But here you have some versatility with this new Charizard, and you can actually pay it and stuff. But there's some cool stuff here. I feel like it's kind of meh. I'll put in C tier below. I'll just put in C tier. I'm not going to order the tiers. I think within the tiers are pretty close, and there's a bunch of tiers. There's as many tiers as cards here. But then we'll move on to the next fire Mega. This is Mega Emboar. If you didn't know, there's an Emboar in Standard from White Flare, I assume, and it allows you to accelerate as much fire energy as you want from your hand to your Pokemon any way you like. It's like probably worse than Choreo EX in the deck, to be honest, because Emboar is a stage 2, just from the same line, but is a stage 2, and then Choreo EX is a basic. But Mega Emboar EX here for 3. You do 60 to yourself. You start at 380, you'll go down to 320, but then you do 320 as well. So this is pretty good damage. It's like kind of meh, to be honest, in a very uninteresting way, but I feel like it's okay. You're not losing all the energy. It feels kind of whatever. I'll pop it in C tier. I do feel like it's a bit less interesting than the other cards, and I expect to see less play. But also, in terms of power, objectively, I do think it is pretty similar there. Again, I don't really expect it to see play. I'd be surprised if it does, and unless something changes. But it's a boring card, but it's an okay card. Then we have the Mega Eelektross EX. Eelektross, wait, how's it spelled? There we go. It does for 2, you do 60 to your opponent's Pokemon, and for 3, you do 190. You can discard 2 to paralyze. These attacks are kind of meh. This card is also out in Japan, and it's seen a little bit of play within decks playing Electric, where it's like okay, I guess. It's honestly like not particularly good though. I mean, 60 to 2 for 2. We have this on 60 for 3, colorless on a stage 1 with Ambipom in standard, which, by the way, Ambipom, super underrated, I guess. I mean, it's not, like, good, but it's okay. As I said, you discard 2 from it, but that's going to be paid with an ignition. Then it's 62 your opponent's Pokemon. This card has seen, like, no play, essentially, as far as I'm aware. I've not seen anyone talk about this card at all. Maybe I've missed it, and I've talked about it a little, but it's the same attack here, and it's on not a 3 prizer. They're different cards, but ultimately Split Bomb's not going to be amazing. And then a Disaster Shock. Paralysis, this could buy you a turn, which could be good, but I feel like it probably won't buy you a turn. And then, I mean, it's like a bunch of energy, right? And then you're also losing your electric. So this card, I mean, it's an okay evolution, but it's not very good. Actually, it's pretty bad. It's like worse than pretty much all the other cards we've talked about. Normally, I'd just put it in D tier, maybe C, but I'll just leave it in C tier here. I guess I'll put it at the top because it does come from a good line, and I think it's okay there, but it's ultimately not very impressive. We have Mega Hawlucha. Hawlucha is actually partially why I wanted to make this video, because I recently saw someone play it, this Garganacl Hawlucha deck, which looks super cool, I guess. Looks kind of bad, but it's fun. But anyways, this is an interesting card here. It is a 250 HP 3 prizer, which is like bad, but you have the ability Resilient Body. If it would be knocked out by damage from attack, you flip a coin of heads. It's not knocked out, and its remaining HP becomes 10. I don't like these types of abilities because they're annoying, but they are potentially good. They don't really see play, but again, they are potentially good. And then for 3 here, you do 120 or 260. If there's a stadium in play, then you discard it. This is okay, right? I mean, it's not like super impressive, but the damage is all right. You compare this to Mega Lucario EX, and be a decent big damage attacking option. I mean, it's not amazing, but it is a basic. Yeah, it's kind of whatever. Honestly, the more I'm talking about this, the worse it seems. The ability could be good, right? If you tank a hit, it is quite good. I feel like the ability, with all that going there, I'll put it in C tier. It's not the most interesting card, but I do think it is okay. This is kind of like a stupid tier list at this point because it's like everything's in C, but I do feel like it is pretty accurate there. Then we have the next card, Mega Scrafty. No, what? Is that what it is? Yes, Mega Scrafty. The basics what Scraggy. Okay, so counter crest if it's in the active and damage, then you put 5 damage counters on your opponent's attacking, or on the attacking Pokemon, which is presumably your opponent's active, unless like Alakazam EX, I guess. But then there's also the helmet. What's it? Punk helmet, which is like the same thing except with 4 damage counters. So you can actually put 9 if you get hit into, which is like kind of funny. But then you have Outlaw Leg for 3. You do 160. Discard a random card from your opponent's hand and mill 1 for the top of their deck. This attack is not particularly good. The ability is all right. This card is very well rounded in a way that's very underwhelming. Underwell-rounded, I guess I'll say. But yeah, not the most impressive card here. You are doing, 160 is just not that good. I mean, you kind of just want to naturally compare this to Mega Absol EX, which is not an amazing card. Just like it's a pretty decent card by all means, but it's not like absurdly good. And this is like probably worse, and it's an evolution, right? So this card I'm going to put in. I think it's cool with the ability. Could use it for some like stalling stuff, but that's stuff's not very good. But it's not terrible either. All tossed in C tier, I guess. It feels like a lot of these cards just feel very mediocre. Kind of knew this going in, and yeah, it's certainly turning out like that. I could see this in D tier, but I think C tier is fine. Then you have Mega Dragonite EX. Oops. Mega Dragonite EX is a card I've seen a decent amount of talk about. For 3 energy, water, lightning, you do 330, discard 2 from this Pokemon. Then Sky Carry lets you switch every turn, which is like a decent ability. We literally have this ability in standard, doesn't really see play. But it's nice to have. The Dragonair also like searches for stuff. And this card has seen some play in Japan, but I'm going to be completely honest. It's a bad card. Like, it's a bad card. The switching is okay, right? The switching is like theoretically good, but I mean, I played with Gengar, which is, as I said, there's the same ability. It's Sonic Gengar. That is, I'm pretty sure, rotating, but it's not that good. And yeah, I mean, you look at the basic options like Latias EX and Pekron EX, and they're very good because they're basics. And then I don't know if there's stage 1 options. I think there are, and they're like not played. And then the stage 2 options obviously like are quite bad there. I mean, there's literally a Dragonite in standard which gives everything free retreat. Yes, it isn't a switch, which is definitely worse, but the ability is just kind of meh. At best, it's kind of bad. It also is also caught in the crossfire between Dragapult EX and Liz Clefairy EX, which is also going to be bad. Opponent will need how many bench Pokemon? Will they need 9 bench Pokemon, or am I doing that wrong? 9 is 180, or was that 200? 8 is. Yeah, I think they need 9 there. Otherwise, they'll be 10 short if they just have 8. So that is like a lot, and hopefully you can avoid that, but it's still not great, right? And then Dragon Glide is not very good. I mean, I've always said this is like a worse Megaman EX. Megaman EX is not super like good. It's all right. Probably like B or C tier. You compare this to the Mega Charizard EX. That's snipe damage. This is a little more damage, but and you aren't losing as much energy, but it's not snipe damage. Like, that's a lot worse. And then Mega Emboar EX does more, and it does a little less, and it does something to itself, but it also doesn't discard it. The switching ability is like kind of bad. I'll take a quick look at these lists to see if they're able to use it well. Let's see, this one, not really. I mean, you got Tatsugiri. That's kind of the first thing my mind went to, which is a decent way to use this. But it's not amazing. Getting a little extra Tatsugiri use. And there's the Rayquaza as well. The Rayquaza is like a kind of random okay single prizer. So this allows you to use Tatsugiri, I guess, a little better than normal. That's if you're not getting knocked out. Because if you are, you could just use Air Balloon or which you're probably still using, or Pekron EX there. But yes, card is honestly really bad. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's okay, and expand is good. There was like one time when this time I did say it, and then someone quote corrected me in the comments. Or I don't know if they corrected me, but like, yeah, it's good and expanded. I was like, yeah, I said that. It is good and expanded. Although it's not actually seeing play and expanded right now, but or much play, but it's kind of good there. But in standard, it's not it doesn't really get the job done unless we see some changes. Regidrago returns, different story, but that's not what we're looking at right now. But then we have the last one here, which is Mega Audino. Mega Audino EX. If you're not familiar with my thoughts on this, I recently made my podcast episode with Common Fossil where I ranked all the top 10 cards from this set, and I had this as number I don't know. It was like somewhere between 2 and 4, inclusive. It's not just necessarily 3. But anyways, Kaleido Waltz here is the attack you're looking at, which does you flip 3 coins, and for each heads you search for 2 basic energy cards and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like, then shuffle. Your Force with 3 colors, 20, 80 more for each energy attached to your opponent's active. Your Force is it's not very good, right? Let's be honest, but it's not like horrendous. But then you look at Kaleido Waltz. This is like TM Turbo Energize. Yes, it is a 3-prizer, but this is like very similar to Team Turbo Energize in Mega Absol box. I think this card is going to see play in Mega Absol Mega Kangaskhan. I'm like very confident on that. Not immediately, but as soon as as TM Turbo Energize rotates, I imagine this will slot right in. It's not amazing, but it's all right. It's a little inconsistent, but if you need just 2 energies, then you'll be getting that, 7/8 of the time, which is like pretty good odds. It's not 100%, which feels kind of bad, but you can be getting more value as well, and you will be getting more value from the more energies. So Mega Audino EX is definitely a card that really captured my eye. Not at first. It's easy to overlook, but I think it's decent here as, another one of those Mega Colors Pokemon. They have coin flips. They seem kind of meh at first, but you have pretty good energy acceleration. You compare this to Joltik, Team Turbo Energize. Yes, you can put these on Pokemon with lower prizes, or Joltik obviously is a single prizer, but this is still good energy acceleration. It's not like super, super crazy good, but it's pretty decent here. If we have coin flip synergies, it's going to be a bit better. If we have more mega synergies, it's going to be a bit better, which I'm more expecting the mega synergies than the coin flip synergies. But yeah, definitely a card that is pretty good. Where am I going to put this on the tier list? I'm going to put it in A tier. I think it's a card that's going to see competitive play. I don't think it's going to see a ton of competitive play, but I do expect it to see some. And yeah, tell me down below in the comment section what your thoughts are on my rankings here. If you think I got anything like super wrong, and why. If I want to hear if you disagree with me and why. As I said, if you just disagree with me, then again, say why. I like often get comments where people like you're wrong, and then they don't say why, and then I ask why, and then they say I'm wrong, and they still don't explain why. And then I'm like, do you watch the video? And then they're like, you're wrong. And then they're like, anyways, whatever. Rant. I should stop ranting. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, all the good stuff. So check out my Discord server for some really cool stuff going on soon, hopefully. But I hope you enjoyed. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.